This is Josh Bycer from GameWisdom.com. Hope you enjoy this Critical Thought, your daily discussion on game design. And be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and you can pitch future Critical Thought topics. Okay, before we get going with today's Critical Thought, I just want to give you the heads up about some content coming to the channel this week. As of February 23rd, I'm going to be uploading several video casts this week. Starting tomorrow will be the recording of tonight's Game Wisdom Live, as we do every Thursday night. And then for Saturday and Sunday, I'll be showing off a two-part interview I had with Ninja 5's designer, Trayvon Taylor, as we talked about his game Bullock, indie game development, action game design, and a whole lot more. So big it had to be split into two different live casts. But be sure to look for that when the time comes. For today's Critical Thought, we're talking about the topic of energy mechanics, or pay or wait. This was a major part of casual and free-to-play design for a good 4 or 5 years here or there, starting with popular examples such as from Farmville, Candy Crush Saga, what was that game, Clash of Clans, and it's something that has become very indicative of the free-to-play market, or it was until loot box design kind of edged it out. But I want to talk a little bit more about this and how it really became a very intrusive form of monetization. Chances are, for those of you watching this, especially my regulars, I'm sure you guys love pay or wait mechanics. It's probably your favorite thing to play in any game. But the idea behind a pay or wait system or mechanic is that it's something that was designed to stop the player from essentially playing the game until either X amount of time has passed or they've spent money. And as I was saying a few seconds ago, this can be seen in various forms. There is the idea of a timer. Every time I perform a task, let's say it takes 20 seconds, 2 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, you name it, before I can do something again. And as the game goes on, let's say in order to complete my objectives, I have to make use of this more. But as I keep using it more, the timer keeps going up. So a task that would have taken me maybe 5 minutes when I first started playing, now could take me 3 hours, 4 or 5 hours. And there's always the option to pay money to get through it quicker. And many times these games will have a flat rate so that the price doesn't change, but the option or the allure does. So spending 25 cents to stop a 50-second timer, who would do that? It's 50 seconds, right? But let's say that timer is now 6 hours. 25 cents doesn't sound so bad there. The other big example of this would be energy. This is a very, very popular option. Energy can be called many, many different things depending upon what the game is. And what this does is every time you perform a task, you use a portion of your energy. And it could be everything from chopping wood, going into a battle, bringing units onto a field, you name it. And then when the energy runs out, you either have to wait for it to recharge, or of course spend some money. And again, as time goes on, this becomes a bigger and bigger expense on the player. When you start playing, the timer could be 10 seconds. Then it could become 3 hours. Then it could become a day. And you get the picture. When I played Marvel Puzzle Quest, for instance, what they did was the more health that needed to be recharged after a character is defeated or after a battle is proportional to the amount of time you have to wait before you can really use that character again. So if a character loses all their health, and let's say it's only a level 1 character, yeah, it's a minute. If we're, all the way at the end of the game, you have like level 70, 80 characters and someone goes down to 0, you're waiting a good 10 to 12 hours before you can use that guy again. And that, my friends, is the major point about this kind of monetization. It grows progressively more and more the further you get into a title. And it has to do with that kind of analytics of examining just how far you want someone to go before you want them to spend money. Again, when you start these games, it's either inconsequential or it's so small that you can simply weigh it out. But when you are invested in this game, you have been playing for 30, 40 hours, and then you gotta wait, this huge amount of time, then the option becomes more attractive to spend money. And as a major point about this, it's important to bring up a famous study or a famous presentation that Valve did about the two things that their gamers will value. They will value time or they will value money the most. If someone values money, it means they're only going to spend money if it's absolutely necessary. For people like me who have had to live on very small means and on a budget, $5 might as well be $100. So you have to save every penny. And for people like that, they're not going to spend 25 cents. They rather wait a few minutes or an hour or whatever, and they will try to get as much free out of a free-to-play title as they can. For people who value time more, these are the people who are living a busy life. Your parents, moms, dads, or people who work a lot. They don't have 5-6 hours to wait for something to get done, especially if they only have a few minutes each day to play. So what's 50 cents here? What's $1 here? And they will just spend the money instead of that time. Now, this is a major part even in commercial or core games such as in Team Fortress. Valve talked about how they made it so that all the items that you can get from the Manco store can also drop through playing the game. And the point is again that it's meant to attract different consumers. There's a choice. I can play Team Fortress and have these items drop on their own. And I can enjoy them when that happens. Or, let's say I really, really want this one item, and I want to use it now. Well, spend a few bucks and it's mine. The key point, of course, again, is that it's a choice in this matter. Either I pay or I wait. But either option is valid. And the important point about this is that it's never really changed as you play a game like Team Fortress. They're not going to jack up the prices on the same items just because you've gone up in level or you've been playing Team Fortress long enough. In the free-to-play and casual market, however, they will jack that up, whether by making things cost more energy or by increasing the timers. And as I was saying, this is a major point of this kind of scaling. And this is how these kinds of free-to-play games really work to pull you in. And it also makes it easier to design more and more content, because they're designing more things to get you to spend money. So it's as easy, again, if the last paywall or the last energy wall was, let's say, pay $1 or wait 5 hours, well, in our next content patch, let's make that wait 7 hours and pay $2 to get through it. And then the next one, let's make it $3. Or we just keep increasing and increasing it, and we can just simply just keep raising that curve. We talked about this with the concept of pay-to-win items and how each month it would be very easy just to add a brand new weapon. If the last month's max was 70, this month could be 75, and then 80, and then 90. And each time we raise that price up a little bit more, and for the people who want to stay competitive or see it all, they're going to spend the money. And this is why pay or wait mechanics was such a popular feature. But obviously, as I'm sure you're all aware of, the big problem with it is that it is completely anti-consumer. You're basically telling someone they can't play the game unless they pay either time or money towards it. And for core gamers, we don't like being told we can't play a game unless we spend more money. And this is why a lot of people really turned off of the free-to-play casual market for mobile. And as another important point, this is what kind of led into the popularity of loot boxes, which we have talked about many, many times already. But just to quickly reiterate if you missed that, the loot box system is designed for the player to spend a fixed amount of money to get a random chance for an item. Could be something common, it could be uber rare, one of a kind, you're never going to see anything else like it, or it could be somewhere anywhere in between. We talked about gacha design in earlier Critical Thought, which is an offshoot or an alternate form of loot box. But the point is that in this case, instead of just spending an endless amount of money just to do a task, in this regard, player spends money, they get something in return. Again, could be common, could be rare, but it is something. It is tangible in the form of the game. With pair weight mechanics, if I spend $50, that's just buying me resources that I already have, more energy. So basically, when I've run out of energy, my $50 leaves me with nothing. If I spend $50 on loot boxes, well, I'm going to have $50 worth of items. And again, it's a mixed bag. Rare, common, average, you name it. And again, this is where that allure of loot boxes kind of took away from the energy system. And I think with that, we will start to wrap things up. So to review, energy mechanics or pair weight was a major form of monetization when it came to free-to-play titles. It's something that you never want to do in a retail game. Again, you don't tell someone, give me $50 to buy my game, but now I'm going to block stuff off so you can't play it. That's going to really piss off people. And again, this is a very intrusive form that was eventually downplayed in favor of loot boxes, simply because of the fact that energy systems don't really reward the player or give them something to use. It's simply used as a wall that pops up for a little bit, you spend money or you wait, goes back down, then it comes back up, and we just repeat until you've either ran out of money, ran out of patience, or you just stop playing the game to begin with. And for those of you watching this, I guess here's my design question for you. Do you think it's possible to make an energy system that isn't intrusive to the player? I'm not sure it is. It seems like one of those things, again, that kind of gets grafted or crafted onto a game. It seems to take it down more times than it helps. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And as one other question for you, one of the big things I was thinking about is how, as we said, loot boxes have replaced energy systems. What do you think could be the next big trend? What will or if replace loot boxes in the coming years? Let's see what we can think of in the comments below. But otherwise, that's going to do it for tonight. So again, be sure to check out the video livecast content coming in a few days. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying these videos, be sure to like and subscribe. And once again, be sure to leave a suggestion if you have any ideas for games to look at, digesting design. Wow, I can't talk. Dissecting design. There we go. To look at, and I will catch you all next time. So be sure to check back daily for more great content here. I apparently need to take a whole bottle of water before I start talking, as my mouth is dying on me. But be sure to check back daily for more great content here and on GameWisdom.com, where we examine the art and science of games. Until tomorrow, have a great night. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and of course share with your friends. It always helps out. For daily posts on all manner of game design and industry topics, check out game-wisdom.com. To support the site and everything that I do, be sure to check out the Patreon campaign. If we can hit goals, it will mean more content for everyone to enjoy, and I'll be able to support myself and my household. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter at GWBycer for updates throughout the day and random thoughts from me. And lastly, you can find me on Twitch right over there at GWBycer for daily streams most nights around 10 Eastern. Thanks again for watching the video, and be sure to check out more great content coming to the Game Wisdom channel real soon.